Trade wars continue to drag down American winemakers. Roederer Estate scores a 100-point score for a U.S. sparkling wine. That's actually never happened before. Did that volcano erupt next to my vineyards? I didn't know this. All that and more on this episode of This Week Uncorked. Hello and welcome to episode 48 of This Week Uncorked for Monday, June 16th, 2025. I'm Brett Martin from Corkage, your number one source for Corkage information, restaurant reviews, winery reviews, and more. All that over at corkandjourney.com. Let's get right into this week's wine news. Well, from Sonoma Magazine, we have the 50 best restaurants in the world, and they have recognized at Healdsburg a SingleThread. So if you're ever up in Napa, if you've been to a SingleThread, or Sonoma area, I should say, well, SingleThread was recognized in the 50 best. But no, it's number 80 because the 50 best is now the 100 best. Anyway, 51 through 100 were released, and SingleThread scored 80. Congratulations to them. You should check out our review over at Cork and Journey on them as well. And from the press release, the International Culinary Spotlight has once again turned to SingleThread, which has secured the number 80 spot on the extended list of the world's 50 best restaurants announced today. You like that? All right, enough of that. The 3 Michelin star Healdsburg restaurant joins San Francisco's Roederer at number 96 on the rankings of 51 through 100, considered an amuse-bouche to the anticipated top 50 awards, which will be announced June 19th in Turin, Italy. And if you haven't noticed, the set's a little different. Well, I'm actually in Italy right now. Tina and I are traveling around. We're actually going to check out a vineyard and winery here in Amalfi Coast, which is where we are right now, tomorrow, and then we're heading up to Tuscany to check out some other wineries. So look for some great interviews and stuff from there soon. Also now, Wine Enthusiast. We keep talking about this, but I think it's worth mentioning. The latest victim of the Trump tariff war is American Vintners. Here in Europe, we've actually encountered a significant number of Canadians and others who have flatly boycotted American products in general. The story doesn't seem to be getting much better at all. Flat out, there's animosity towards American products. From the article, as a result, Canada, who purchases 33% of U.S. wine exports, banned American alcohol sales. California Cabernet was banished, and Canadian whiskey took over top spots for bourbon. Our neighbors to the north are not the only country left with a bad taste in their mouth following the tariffs. Danish wine stores are boycotting U.S.-made wines. In Sweden, state monopoly liquor stores have seen sales of American wines drop 15% as customers have sought out alternatives. American winemakers have reported Portuguese buyers pulling out of new orders. In April 2025, U.S. wine exports to Canada dropped a staggering 72.5% compared with April of last year, falling 25.5 million to 9.69 million, the lowest monthly value since March of 2005, according to the American Association of Wine Economists. So basically, we're at 2005 levels on wine exports to Canada, and it is not getting any better. And the funny thing is, I just don't hear anybody talking about these boycotts, not just for wine, but a lot of countries are just generally boycotting American products. So there you go. Hey, before we move on, a quick plug from us, Cork and Journey. If you don't know, we are the number one source for corkage fees, and it's very, very easy. If you're going to dine at a restaurant, you'll say, I wonder what the corkage fee is. You can head over to corkandjourney.com and you can search for it. You can basically, maybe you don't know where you're going. You can just kind of say, hey, I'm in this general area. Give me some restaurant ideas with some corkage fees. Maybe you know the exact restaurant you're going to. You can search directly for it. But we make it real simple to find out what your corkage fee is at any restaurant you are planning on going to. And if it's not in there, please drop it in. There's a little link. You can give us the corkage fee. We have clients all the time that are giving us updated corkage fees, or check all that out over at corkandjourney.com. And with that, we will move on with the news. So Roederer Estate has received the first ever 100-point score awarded to a U.S.-made sparkling wine. Wine Enthusiast was the publication that gave this award out. They gave it a perfect 100 points for the Roederer Estate 2019 Lompoc Brut Sparkling Wine. So if you ever find yourself in Anderson Valley, be sure to stop by that estate. We have, and we love it. We actually have a review of that on our website as well. But man, it is a beautiful estate. And if you are there, check out the fish and chips. You won't be disappointed. Not what you think it is. All right. So winemaker Arnaud Weyrich, who is only the second winemaker of Roederer Estate's history, makes the determination each year if the vintage is exceptional and if Lompoc bottling will even be produced. He believes the 2019 vintage delivered wines of elegance and finesse, and as such, crafted the award-winning bottling from the vintage. The first vintage of Lompoc was 1989 and has been produced only 24 times since its debut. So if you think about that, 24 times, and let me do my math, 41 years, or is that right? 11, 25, 36 years, 24 times. So it looks like they skip every 2 years or so. Anyway, congratulations to them. And man, it is a great, great, great winery if you're up there. Amazing champagnes, and well worth the visit if you're up in Anderson Valley. And wrapping it up with the news, the drinks business has why Etna's eruption was not as bad as it looked. Crazy, we landed here on June 1st, and on June 2nd, Etna erupted. And there was kind of all over the news here in Italy, as you might imagine when a volcano erupts in your country. But hadn't really heard much of it since. But from the article, this is great. This is basically quoting directly from a winemaker. Yesterday morning, there was a landslide generated by the partial collapse of one of Etna's craters. Nothing we had not seen before, but bigger this time, shared Salvino Benatti, custodian of his family's 35-hectare Etna estate, alongside with his brother Antonio. Everything happened at high elevations as always, and the sliding pyroclast first poured into the Valle de Leon and eventually came to a halt in the Valle del Bove, the deep depression on Etna's eastern flank. Benatti also said it has not been a particular inconvenience. All okay so far. Things have gone back to normal. The vineyards are largely unaffected. The thick rocks were quite heavy and landed near the eruption site at high elevations, whereas the thinner sand does not bother us much. Just another day growing wine in the shadow of a volcano. Anyway, with that, let's move on to our wine and winery of the week. Dark Water Wineries. Wow. This was kind of one of those crazy places we stumbled upon in the Lompoc ghetto, the wine ghetto. I've talked about this on previous episodes. So Dave Mazzonetto, who's an Italian family, has been making wine for generations. He is set up there basically in the Santa Rita Valley, in the Santa Barbara region there. This guy, he's taking his time with these wines, and they are just really, look, this is a small little tasting room. These tasting rooms in the Lompoc ghetto, they're nothing special. They're nice, but you're basically just walking into an industrial building. But if you want to sit down, talk to the winemaker, and he is there, and he is connected, and he's connected to his wines. He's wanting to tell you the story of the wines and what happened. It just made for an absolutely lovely afternoon. We just enjoyed every single minute of it. And kind of every bottle kind of reflects his commitment to what he's doing. And, you know, he's got stories behind it and what he likes to do, how he likes to drink it, how long he likes to decant it, all of those kind of things. So if you're in, this is the one you must check out. Check out Dark Water. If you're in Lompoc, you won't, Lompoc, you won't regret it. And our wine of the week is going to be the 2017 Dark Water Reserve Cabernet Sauvignon from Happy Canyon at Santa Barbara. We rated it 95 points. It's $85. Here's the deal on this one. Man, oh man, let it decant. I would say probably 2 hours, kind of on a minimum, maybe 3. And just let that thing open up, and you are in for quite a treat. Lovely, lovely, lovely wine. With that, let's move on to our restaurant and Corkage of the week. All right, well, we're going all over the place, from Lompoc to Italy, and now we're going to go back to Austin, Texas, to the Corner Restaurant, which is kind of Southern comfort done right. We gave this restaurant 5 stars. It's got a $2 sign rating. It's just kind of traditional Southern cuisine, downtown Austin. It's basically Southern comfort food, reasonable prices. And, you know, it's not just us that likes this place. It's got 4.9 star rating with 14,000 glowing reviews. There's a reason for that over on Google. So Chef Jennifer Etzkin, knock it out of the park. It's just kind of down home, really, really comfortable. Had a great time there. Shout out to them. And with that, we're going to wrap up. Oh, by the way, no corkage fee allowed over at that because it's Texas. We've talked about that in the past, but what are you going to do? And with that, we are going to wrap up another episode of This Week Uncorked, this one done from the road. As always, we would love it if you would subscribe to us on our YouTube channel and follow us on social media. And we'll see you next week from Tuscany. Ciao, everybody.